Hi guys, welcome to the channel. This is Waga. We are going to continue working on our Instagram clone built with SwiftUI. And what we're going to do today is we are going to create a means by which a user can send the selected photo and the caption to the backend, our Firebase backend, right? If we can go back to where we left it off at, give it a second. Should load our phone. Yeah, so we left it off at creating the post. So you can select an image as a post, add a caption. Let's just do that. Choose a photo, and this, like so. Hit choose, like so. Hit upload post, and the post should be sent to our Firebase backend, right? But what we want to do right now, right? What we want to do now is firstly describe what our post should look like, what the ideal post should look like. And for that, we could come to our models folder, hit Command N, and create a Swift file, and we could call it post model. Remember, we can't call it post because we called our view post, right? So we're going to call this post model just like we called our user model, right? Not user. So we call it post model, like so, and in our post model, we're going to create this struct that is going to be our post model, and this is going to conform to the encodable and decodable protocol, And remember, we extended our encodable and decoder protocols. I showed this in the user video, right? In the user model video, how we extended it so it can handle dictionaries and convert to dictionaries and whatnot. If you can't remember, just go back to that video where we were working with the user model and working on extension methods. I can't remember the exact video, but we sorted it out, and the code is in, I believe, in utilities, in extensions, and we extended decodable and encodable, like so, right? Yeah, so basically that. So we can continue. We can come back to our post model, like so, and the first thing we need to do is the first thing we want is the post needs some text underneath. We're going to, usually the text underneath a picture is called a caption, especially when it comes from a newspaper or a magazine or whatnot. So for that, we could say var caption, and caption is going to be of type, you guessed it, string, like so, and we're going to have a dictionary with our likes, with the likes as a boolean. We could come here and let's just create this, and it's going to have a string key and a boolean, like so, and after that we're going to have var geolocation. Geolocation is going to be where the image was taken, and after that we're going to have var owner ID. I think that one is self-explanatory. And after that, we're going to have the post ID. Each post is going to be identifiable. So this is going to be a string, like so. And after that, we're going to have a username, and this is going to be, you guessed it, and we're going to have a profile, and this is going to be a string, and this is going to be the profile image, right? We already worked on that a bit. And media URL. This is exactly what you think it is. This is going to be the URL to the image, and this is going to be var date, and this is going to be a double. You can guess what it is, and after that we're going to have a like count. We could say var like count, and this is going to be, you guessed it, it's going to be that, an integer, like so. So you could save it, and we can continue from there. The next thing we need to do is go to the storage service. And one thing I noticed when we were doing this is that I actually forgot to remove profile from here, right? When you come to the storage root, we are putting everything on top of the profile folder. What we could do is, there are two options. One, we could get rid of this and leave it like this so that the profile is added as a child here, right? So or even better, we could just get rid of all this, like so. We leave it like that. So now we might have to drop our database and start off anew because there are several things that are already in profile. But just get, since you're not in the final version, you can just make this change where we have just storage root is going to be storage.reference, In fact, we could just we could actually come here because we don't use storage anywhere else, or we could just leave it like this. Let's leave it like this. I was thinking we type here storage and then reference, but so you could leave it like this or make changes to it, whichever is okay, right? Okay, now the next thing we need to do is we need to create a child, the folder where all the posts will be put, right? All our posts will be put, right? And for that we could come here and what we could say is static var storage post, and this is going to be the storage root, and it's going to have a child of no prizes for guessing posts. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Now we want a means. The next thing we want to do is a means of getting the post ID, right? So for that we could come here and we could actually copy this function since they look very much the same, right? You will see it on the back end and know and understand better what this code does. And this is going to be storage post ID, and what we're going to have here is the post ID, and this is going to be a string. It's going to return a storage reference, and this is going to be the storage post.child, and this is going to be post ID, right? We are going to pass in the post ID like so. So that's how we get the storage post ID, right? And the next thing we need to do is create the actual function. And if you understood this, right? If you understood this code, this is basically the same but for the post ID, right? So the next thing we need to do is create the actual function that will save to our Firebase, right? So let's check this. Yeah, so we come under the first function. The first function saves the profile image, I believe. Yeah, save profile image for the storage profile image. And so we're going to call this save post photo. We're going to say static func so that you can access it from anywhere. I've gone through this already, so I'm guessing if you're here you can follow. If you follow this chronologically, if you didn't, I don't know how you can jump in the middle in episode 25 when you're watching a season. Probably should follow it step by step, right? String, so save photo, the user is going to be a string. The caption, if you can remember the stuff we created, is going to be a string like so. The post ID is going to be the post ID is going to be, no prizes for guessing, a string like so. The image data is going to be data. The metadata is going to be storage metadata. The storage metadata, the storage post ref, storage post ref like so. This is going to be the storage reference like so. And on success we're just going to have an escaping closure. I've talked about this, and we could just type it out like so. And on error, I think on error it's going to look a lot like this on error, I suspect. On error we can just copy this, no need to retype it. So we copy this, come down here and put in the on error. Okay, command V. It's not. Oh, I didn't copy. I thought I copied. Let me just copy the code. It seems like I didn't copy. Copy like so. We can paste it here now, and on error like so. And what you're going to have here is the actual code block, and that is going to be, it's going to look a lot like this, right? I guess storage profile image, and it's going to be post ref instead. And we're going to put the data, and it's going to be image data metadata, and then basically it looks a lot like this. So we could copy this like so, copy it, come down here, no need to, we can save on a bit of time, move faster. And after the error we're going to come here and say this is where it differs, right, from the code above. Storage post ref, and we're going to put the data, and we're going to take the image data that we're going to send from the front end. From the, I don't know, what do you call the phone the front end and Firebase the back end still, because that seems like web-based terminology. But yeah, we could call it that, I guess. So, and then we're going to send the metadata, which is the information around the image. And after that, we could come back up here and what we would want is this closure. Let's copy this, right? So we would copy this, the storage data and the error, like so, and the metadata, like so, and we put in the curly braces, and we could post this, the storage metadata and error, like so. If error equals nil, then before we continue, we need to create the post service, right? Because there's some methods we need from the post service so that we can continue here, right? So for that, we could come here and we could create, could hit Command N on the services, and we could call it, because we call this auth service, storage service, I think this one should be called post service, right? Post service, like so. Post service, yeah. We hit create, and we come down here, and the first thing we're going to import, right, is going to be Firebase auth, right, like so. And let's just go, and we can copy as many as possible. Firebase auth. I don't think we'll need combine, right? I don't think we'll need combine. So maybe we might need it in the future, but not right now, right? So, and we can get rid of the Firebase auth, and the next thing we need is Firestore. So we could say import Firebase Firestore, and after that we could import, I think we need storage, right? Do we need storage? Yeah, I think we need storage. Firebase storage. But even if you import it and you don't use it, I don't think there's a lot of penalty, right? So we could say class post service, like so, and we're going to type our code here. And now we're going to create the various variables. Now the first is going to be the one which where we put it in our store root, the collection where the posts will live, right? So that is going to be a static variable, so we can access it from wherever we need. We could say static var posts, and this is going to be, if you can remember, if we go to the out service, we put it here. We probably should put them somewhere centrally, but we already put it here. The store root is on the out service, where it's Firestore, right? So to put something in, I already explained a bit about how Firestore works, right? I think so. So yeah, basically that. So to get access to it, you could either write it out firestore.firestore, or you could just go into the auth service and say .store root, and it's the same thing, right? And the collection in question is going to be, in our case here, we're going to have the posts. Let's say posts, like so. And after that, we're going to have we're going to create another collection of all posts, right? So that our user can actually get access to all posts. And this is going to be auth service dot store root dot collection, and the collection is going to be called all posts, like so. So that's where we're putting it. And then we need a way to get the user's ID from a post, right? So for that, we could create a function that says static func, and this is going to be posts, probably should be called posts user ID, right? I had named it something else in the original version, so we could call it user ID, and this is going to be a string. And feel free to give it a more creative name. This is going to be a document reference, right? And what we're going to return here is going to be posts dot document dot what we need here is the not dot post document, and here we need the user ID, like so. So that's what we're going to get. And the next thing we need is another well, we're creating various, because I'm working with the final, looking forward to the finalized version. So we'll create methods that we'll use. We'll have a collection for the timeline so that the user can actually search through the timeline, right? So we could actually put it here. Let's put it at the top. We could say static var. We will come to the timeline I think that's several videos away from here, but let's just set it up so that our service.storeroot.collection, and the collection is going to be called timeline, like so. We'll work on this much later, but when we are saving a post, we want it also reference to it where it is to be put in the timeline, right? In our timeline. So we could do all this at the same time, and we want also to do the same. We want to do the same thing here, but now for the timeline, so that you can get the user ID, right? So I could copy this, come down here, paste it. It will complain because of redeclaration. And what we could do here is we could say timeline user ID, and this is going to be timeline, right? Timeline, like so. So we could save, and after that we could now create the method which will upload our post, right? So we could come down here, and the method in question here is going to be static func. It's going to be called upload post. You can imagine what it does, and what it takes is a caption. This is the method that's going to be called in the storage service, right? I think, or something along the lines there. So it's going to be, caption is going to be a string, like so. The image data is going to be data. The on success, we're just going to say escaping, like so, and it's going to return nothing, like so, and we're going to have now on error. On error is just going to be at escaping, and what we're going to have here is the error message, and this is going to be a string, like so, and it's going to return, similarly it's going to return nothing, void. Just give it a space like that, and then we could give ourselves our code block, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the user ID. Did we run this code somewhere? I'm just looking if we can copy the code, or whether we have to type through it again. Let's just go and type it out. No problem. Let's just type it out. Let's get the user ID, and for that we could just say guard let auth, like so, and this is going to be, we probably should create this method so that we can call it easily from wherever. Current user, and we're going to get that UID, else we're going to return. So we get the user's ID, right? And we could say else we just return. If there is no user, just return. Do is add the user ID, like so, and assign it to that, like so. The let, we could say here let post ID, and this is going to be the post service. Then we're going to create get the method we created here, which is posts user ID. That's what we created, and it requires user ID, and this is going to be user ID. No, it's going to be user ID that we passed in I think we passed it in somewhere. The user ID, and the collection in question is going to be posts, and from that document we're going to get document, and what we need here is the document ID. So we're going to get that document ID, and we can put it in post ID, like so. And after that we could come and we could create another variable here, which is going to be the storage post ref, right? reference to the storage post. So we could say storage post ref, and I don't know if we created this method already. We could say storage service, and this is going to be storage. We did actually, I think. Storage post ID. It's not profile, post ID, like so. And this is going to be, we're going to pass in the post ID here. The post ID that we just created, we're going to pass it here. And then after that, we're going to get the metadata, and we could say let meta data, and this is going to be the storage meta data, like so. And you could either put images. If you want to put images here, I think the content type, content, okay, why isn't it helping me? Content type storage metadata, and we need to put that over there, and we say content type. You could make this MP4 if you wanted to put videos. So you could say as we just want image and JPG, like so. And after that, we are going to go to call the storage service. I don't know if we completed this method, so let's go back to our storage service. I'm not sure we completed the method, so we could, yeah, we didn't complete it, did we? We did not. We did not complete it. Okay, let's just let's switch back to it and complete it. And for that, let me just get the spot where I was at, and we're going to download the URL of the image, right? To save, download the URL type and whatnot. What we did here, basically, where did we do it? We did this actually. So what we're going to do is we could copy this, like so. Copy and come down here. Where is it? After return, if there's no error, we're going to paste this, and it's going to say storage post ref, right? Not profile image. We could say storage post ref, like so. Storage post ref. Dot download URL, and it's going to get the URL and the error in let meta image URL equals URL absolute string, and then inside our code, I think we need to put another one here, another curly brace there, yeah. So basically that, and we now need to type in our code, and I think we need to add another one because there were two, like so. And our code in question is going to be let Firestore. Okay, let me just turn on my Pomodoro timer, and this is going to be let Firestore post ref equals post service dot we're going to get the posts ID, the posts user ID, like so, and the post user ID, we're going to pass in the user ID, and the collection in question, the collection is going to be, I think you can guess what it is. The collection in question is going to be posts, like so, and after that we're going to get the document. The document is going to be the post ID, like that. And then we're going to come down here, and we could say let post, and this is going to be post model, the post model, and we could say dot init, and we're supposed to add assign this. So we are going to have I'm hoping it helps us so that we don't have to type everything out. Okay, there it has. So the caption in question is going to be caption. Remember, we created all this in our posts model, right? And we could come here, and the likes is just going to be an empty dictionary, like so. So that's how we do it, like that. And the geolocation is going to be a string. The owner ID, let's go to the next one. The owner ID is going to be the user ID, like so. No, the owner ID is going to be the user ID, like so. And the post ID is going to be the post ID that we just made it, the post ID, like so. The username, now to get the username we need to go into the auth. I could say auth.auth, like so, and we need to reach to the current user, which we are sure it will be there. And we're going to say the display name, which we are pretty sure is also going to be there. And the profile remember is the profile image, and we could do the same here. We could say auth.auth, like so, and this is going to be the current user, which we are sure is going to be there, and we are going to say display name, and yeah, like so. Not display name, current user dot, sorry, the current user dot photo URL. We could say here photo URL, and we are going to be sure it's there, and it's going to be an absolute, we're going to get the string, right? And the media URL, is going to be, meta image URL, like so. The date is going to be date, like so, and we are going to get the time interval since 1970. And the likes count, we're going to start off with 0, right? So every post is going to have 0. So the next thing we need to do is try to put all this into the dictionary, right? So we could say guard let dict, and this is going to be we're going to try, and what are we going to try? We're going to try to convert the post into a dictionary. We created this a couple of videos back, and else if it doesn't, we're just going to return, right? So you could just say return, like so. And after this, we are going to say fire post ref, what we created here, what's it called? I can't see it, I've lost it. Firestore post ref, right? So you could say Firestore post ref, and we are going to set the data that is now in a dictionary, right? So you're going to say set the data, and this is going to be a dict, and we are going to say error and in, and we're going to come down here, and we're going to say if error equals nil, just copy this code, no need to rewrite it. Error in, we could post this, and yeah, like so. And after that, we could save it after this, right? After we save it, we're going to save our post into our timeline. The post into the timeline of a logged in user, the user who's logged in, right? So for that, we could just come here and say post service, and this is going to be timeline user ID, and we're going to pass in the user ID, like so. And the collection in question, is going to be timeline, like so. And the document is going to be the post ID, and we're going to put the dictionary there. We could say set data, and what we're going to pass is the recently converted dictionary dict, like so, right? And after that, we could also include it in all the posts, right? Put this post in a collection with all the posts, right? We could say post service dot all posts, and the document is going to be we're just going to use the post ID, like so, and we're going to put the dictionary, right? We could set data, and for that we type set data, and the data in question is going to be our dictionary that we just created, and then we're just going to pass on success, like so, and we can save and we can continue from there. Storage post ID, this method we are calling the storage profile, so we're repeating what we did, the mistake we did. So we could quickly correct it to storage post child ID, like so, and we can continue from there. Service and complete it before jumping onto the front end, right? And for this, what we could do here is we could just say storage service, because we've completed the methods that we need to do this, and we could say save photo, and the user in question is going to be user ID. The caption in question is going to be caption. The post ID, let's just type in that, press tab to move along. The post ID is going to be post ID. The image data is going to be, you guessed it, image data. The metadata is going to be metadata. The storage post-ref is going to be storage post-ref. On success, the on success is going to be on success. The on error is going to be on error. We have seen both the on success and the on error, like so. And after that, I don't know, it's still complaining. Okay, let me just figure these things out. Am I spelling metadata correctly? I'm not spelling metadata correctly. Where is that? Metadata. Let's just correct metadata, the spelling of metadata, like so. Actually, you are working with the storage profile image ref rather than the storage post ref, right? So we could come here and we could say storage post ref, like so. And our error should now disappear, and we can save. And the next thing we need to do is we're going to come and go to the I believe, what's the name of the view? The view is, I think, the post view, like so. And we left a space here for Firebase. We can now start working on it. So we could come here, and under this space for Firebase, we could say post service dot upload post, and the caption in question is going to be the text from our text editor. The image data is going to be image text. Let's press tab. Image data. The on success image data. On success, we can come here and let's just put the on success here, and we could do this and come here, and what we want, if it's successful, we just want to clear, so that we can clear our we made the clear function, I think. Yeah, it's down here. So on success we want to clear, and the next parameter we need is some curly braces for the error, and for that we could just come here and say error message. We want it passed along to the user, and we could put it in disclosure. We could say in, and actually I think we have something like this in the sign up page. Let's go to the sign up page, and yeah, you see I even highlighted it. So let's copy this, copy, like so, save, and where is we're in the post view, right? And we could come here and in this closure just put that. We don't need to print it, the user won't see it, we'll put it there, so like so. And let's do the same here, we don't need to print it, like so. So basically that when we are saving our photo, we're supposed to pass in the user ID, not the user, right? And that should get rid of two of our problems. And the geolocation here should be an empty string, right? We just say empty string, like so. And on success, yeah, and we need to put the brackets on success, like so. And do we have any other issues with our code? Let's just try running it, and if we run it, okay, there seems to be a problem. And this is supposed to be user ID. In the storage save photo, we're supposed to pass in the user ID, right? Like so. And if we now try to run it, everything should go as expected, and it will take a second. It will realize we logged in, and we can now try and send a photo. We can pick a photo, and let's pick the waterfall. We hit choose, we type waterfall, like so. We hit upload post, and it should clear if it goes. Yeah, it clears, meaning that it's gone, and now we can go have a look at it in the backend, at our backend, and see what we have there. So we could come and click on posts, and I'm guessing this last image should be the waterfall, and we should see our waterfall like so. And we go to our real-time database, we'll find several. No, it's not the real. It's the Cloud Firestore, not the real-time database, but the Cloud Firestore. We will find all posts, and I'm guessing this is the waterfall. You can see the waterfall, the date, the geolocation, the likes count. This is going to be a dictionary or a JavaScript object, however you want to call it. The media URL to the image, the owner, which is this 6DXC, the post ID, the profile image of the owner, and the owner's username password. We can confirm that this is the owner by going to the auth, because we only have one user, I guess. Authentication, we should see 6DX. So we have 6DXC, that's our owner. And we also have the timeline, and the user is the owner. We only have one user so far. And the posts, all the posts are by the owner. Let's just go back there, and we will see all the posts are by the owner, right? So the owner has several posts, and it's just basically the same thing. If you look at the IDs, I'm sure you'll find that the same. So basically that was that, and after that long winding video, we have finally made it to our stated end. We have been able to take our image that we sent from the front to the back. That's okay. It sounds weird calling the phone the front end, but yeah, we can now send images from the front to the back. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video.